Welcome to Straight Talk Sacred Pathway. I'm Stuart Wellborn, a British author and former therapist, and each week I sit down with Wa-Na-Nee-Che, a spiritual elder from Turtle Island, to explore the deeper truths behind healing, ceremony, and connection to Source. Hello, folks. We are back after a week's recess because Wa-Na-Nee-Che wanted a break. Seems like he wants an extra break because he's feeling poorly and laid in bed. So Matthew is in the hot seat all on his own today. So how are you today, Matthew?
I'm doing okay-ish, just like everybody else here in America, because there's been a lot of shit going on right now here in America that is creating more of a divide that I don't want. Okay. And the one thing I'm worried about more than anything else when it comes to this divide is that we're breaking out into a civil war almost here.
Is it
The
getting
whole
that bad over there?
It is getting pretty bad. We're having people from the left leaving because of this whole situation. Then you have the left that's trying to promote violence and stuff like that. And I'm not saying all of left people, because there are good people in the left side that I know and that I do cherish with my heart, and I don't want anything bad happen to them. Okay. And that's why I don't want a civil war to break out.
So there's
Okay.
people on the left that are promoting violence now, then.
Yep, it's getting pretty fucking bad, And instead of the whole situation that happened with Charlie Kirk, is that we all should be feeling sympathy, some kind of sympathy for him, because he just got shot, dude. And people are making fun of his death and cheering for his death right now, and it's like, dude, that's sick.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying the left are leaving because of this, because they see this shit as it's sick, dude. But the whole thing is that I'm not against pride. I'm not against the black community. I'm not against anybody, because I believe everyone is equal. Because remember, the indigenous philosophy, even though people hate hearing this from different cultures, is that the indigenous believe that all life mattered, because we're talking about the trees. We're talking about the animals. We're talking about the rock. We're talking about Mother Earth herself, who is suffering, that we are acting like ticks or fleas, sucking the blood out of her.
Yeah. No
So
disagreements
all
there.
life matters. That's always been an indigenous culture way, that we have to believe that all life matters, or I wouldn't have dogs, you know, or
Yes,
those
it's.
who want to go plant and garden, for instance, too.
I see a lot of people that are very good with animals and the gardens, like you're saying, and
Yeah,
understand that bit. But when it comes to another human being, is where they draw the line.
yeah,
Because especially like
exactly,
over politics, our politics is
exactly,
fairly bad over here, but nothing like your batshit crazy gun shooting
exactly.
shit.
The whole thing about the left and the right situation when it comes to racism, when it comes to the Second Amendment, when it comes to religion, and when it comes to all this shit, is that it's dividing everybody. And they don't realize that. And instead of, they don't want to listen to anybody but themselves. When we should understand each other's pain so we can solve this problem. Why are you guys in so much pain? What is dragging you down? What is the source of that pain?
Do you think you have an answer for that, then, Matthew?
Well, everybody has a different type of pain that they're suffering from. It is up to them to figure that out. And the issue is that everybody wants to run away from the truth.
And what is the truth? That's the question.
Everything. It's the bad, the good, and the ugly.
You said like a lot of people on the left are now promoting violence. Now, over here in the UK, we get whatever drip fed to us from the media. And because I've got friends on the left and the right, I do see pro-Trump stuff and stuff against him. But that kind of violent rhetoric, you kind of think of more with MAGA supporters and the Second Amendment rights. Obviously, the storming of the Capitol and how Trump pardoned those that were involved. So it's quite weird to hear you saying that the left are now,
Yeah,
supporting
but
violence.
this is why I never chose sides, because I knew both sides were wrong. They have their own wrong reasons, but it doesn't mean that they're right in other ways too. But it's the problem that we are stubborn not to listen. We're too stubborn not to face the truth. And what is the key thing that a lot of people say about the truth?
Go on then.
It will set us free.
There are those that you can show the truth to and will still bury their heads though, or even dismiss
That's
it.
because they rather live in a lie.
Yeah.
That's what psychology is all about, is that we need to face the truth of our problems, because if we don't, we're going to keep on living that lie. It's going to drag us down.
Well, a lot of people as well, because psychology is my thing, different flavors of it, but people don't like to be proven wrong. And when you've made a
Exactly.
public announcement to say, I back this, you don't want to look
Exactly.
like a tit by going, well, I don't anymore. So you just put your flag in and like say, right, here we go. I've made my statement and now I'm going all the way. We obviously see with a lot of MAGA supporters in the sense that
Yeah.
Trump hasn't lived up to his
But
promises. Your eggs have gone up and they're
but
still
does
with
it make
him.
it true?
Which bit's not true? What, the
But does
eggs?
it make it true though?
What?
What they're doing,
Does what
what you
make it?
just said, but what you just exactly said, does it make it true?
No.
Exactly.
No.
See, that's the problem with everybody. They believe that their opinion is the truth, but what does an opinion mean? What is the definition of an opinion?
Well, there's lots of ways of looking at that. I once did a piece on that because everyone's got an opinion on everything, haven't they?
Exactly.
But there are low grade opinions, like I could have an opinion on gun control in America, but I don't live in America. But I could have an opinion about hypnosis, and that's more of an expert opinion because I did it, in practice for 13 years. So my opinion on hypnosis compared to somebody who's just stag out a pub and goes, "Yeah, hypnotherapy, it's bollocks," is not the same level of opinion, is it?
Oh, and it's pretty funny. It's the whole thing, and they just came to mind. It's pretty crazy because it sounds like the whole opinion thing is trying to seek the truth. That's what they keep on doing. You are just keep on seeking the truth. That's what the whole having opinion for is, because you don't understand the truth and you keep on searching for it. Thus,
I would disagree
it,
on that. I think an opinion is when you think you know the truth.
but again,
When
we're
you
still
when you're
seeking.
a seeker, you like before I got into, when I was in the Navy, I was an
Yeah,
uneducated, drunken idiot that just went out and did what sailors do. And as I've studied more and more since then, so oh my God, nearly 30 years of studying psychology, spirituality, and things like that, the more I learn, the more I realize I know fuck all.
but again, like I said, when it comes to someone's opinion, they're always seeking the truth. Why?
Are they, though? Are they seeking the truth? Like,
Why do they do it though?
because they want to say that they're right.
Exactly. There you go.
But
So
that's not
that's the
seeking the
problem
truth,
with
is it?
opinion. Okay, is that they're there to try to prove us right.
Or prove us wrong.
Okay, so it's not. Yeah, sorry. Stop. Hey, stop. So having someone other's opinion doesn't make them right. It's the truth that'll make them right. It's the truth that'll set them free. Sounds like my date's coming through. Girls.
We're both having similar issues. I've got a cat in the background that's probably going to make a lot of noise. Yeah, he's going for it now.
Okay.
Okay, mad jump cut here in the video. Wa-Na-Nee-Che is well enough to join us, but we're going to carry on the conversation. Over to you, Matthew. I've taken my
Okay.
glasses off as well.
So what I last left off was what we're talking about is you were saying about opinions, and we came to a conclusion that opinion is to prove yourself right.
Hmm.
So, and now I'm talking about the truth will set us free, because the whole thing about my belief and what I put my faith into, and this is very important that I think everybody needs to do, is that they need to put their faith into truth. Because again, the truth is going to set you free, people. The truth is going to tell you exactly what you need. Okay. And what I believe in is knowledge, because knowledge is what's going to teach me that truth, what I need in my life, so I can continue forward into the future to do what I need to do for myself. You know, that's
No,
very important.
I completely agree with you. In fact, many years ago, I had a motto created in Latin, Fide tibi semper pete veritatem, which means believe in yourself and always seek the truth. So I've had that,
Exactly.
seek the truth has like been my mantra for a very long time. But let's get your dad to say something now he's here, so he's not just looking pretty there in the background. What's
Okay,
your
so
thoughts on truth?
we're talking about yeah. Okay, we're talking about divide and how the divide has from humanity right now. So I'll be right back. Over here. I don't know. That's all I'm checking. We're sitting there, I was listening a little bit, but sometimes you can say something that's true, but yet it's not a lie, but it's basically say for instance where we were traveling and someone came looking for you. The the soldiers, say for instance, in the old days, the soldiers were looking for somebody, and he was inside the caravan that was going, but he was at the end of the caravan, and soldiers asked, "Have you seen, say, Stewart? I have not seen him today, but yet you see him yesterday." So you're telling the truth, but you're giving him a misdirection because you're trying to protect somebody.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
It's different.
Mom used to always say, when if you said something, they start to choke, and she turns to you, oh, must have been a lie.
There's nothing wrong with a little lie if you're saving face for another person.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
that's
the whole thing is with a white lie is that it's protecting someone you love from causing harm from others or themselves.
yeah,
It's the
I got
only time you should bring in a white lie.
yeah, I'd agree with that. So
I'm
have
an honest person. I don't like lying. Lying, it makes me feel dirty when I do have to lie. Now, keeping people's secrets is a different story because I'm not lying.
oh yeah, I'm the same with it, that. You can tell
Yeah,
me a
because
secret
keeping
and like
secrets
I'll
is
take it to
different.
the grave. I will.
Exactly. Because it's not your place to tell.
Yeah.
Because in actuality, does it make it right when you say it, or does it make it right for that one individual who is keeping that secret to be right? Actually, he was lying to me last night.
Why?
When I came down the basement, he was in bed lying down.
And what did he say he was doing?
So it's funny how we use words though that really mean one thing but mean something else. So what we need to do to stop the divide is that we need to find the truth. This even happens within the gender right now. What's going on? We are so confused with gender that we shouldn't have to be confused about gender. We have to do is face the facts, and that's fine. If you want to be a transgender, that is your choice. We are not here to force you out transgender. We're here for you to accept the truth, to realize what the truth is and what you are doing to yourself. That's it. Once you accept that, you are set free. You finally accept it. You see what I'm saying?
I do. I think that was
Yeah,
the topic you wanted to talk about more deeply, but there's no point
yeah,
doing that again today because we're coming up to
yeah.
just over
Yeah.
10 minutes left. So,
But it's I think it was more pointed towards the divide than anything else because look at the world. Right here in America, that's the strongest thing that's happening is the divide between the left and the right, the divide between genders, the divide between religion, culture right now, and it's not a good thing. We should be like put on my post is that we need to be in the middle to erase the divide. That's what's more important.
some would say that is sitting on the fence, though. I'm not saying you are, but I'm just playing devil's advocate here that, there is the midline, but that's still a political choice, isn't it? And you're not a
Well,
political choice. You're not
okay,
picking a political side, are you?
The difference is the devil who sits on the fence, all he's doing is watching. He's not doing anything. He's enjoying watching the chaos, who sits on the middle and do nothing. Where I walk the line. And when you walk that line of that fence, what you have to do?
Make sure you don't fall off.
And what helps you from falling off?
Being focused on where you're going.
Balance. You
And
have to keep
balance.
the balance when you're walking on the line. What is the left and what is the right? What is female? What is male? We have to meet in the middle finally.
You got anything to
Find
say,
that
Wa-Na-Nee-Che?
balance.
He's
I
just,
know.
you've come down and you're just sitting there now.
I'm kind of half asleep.
Yeah,
Oh.
he just woke up. So,
All right, you just come down to look pretty then.
okay. And that's why I think is very important is if we learn to walk the line, we start to learn both sides. Okay. Because what does the whole concept of the yin and yang?
Yes,
It's
well,
moving.
yeah, go on.
It's constantly moving like this, ain't it? So
Yes.
when you walk the line, you're seeing all that perspective as it's flowing through balance.
And if you want to come to the gender thing again, there's the small bit of yin in the yang and vice versa.
Yes, that's how it's always been. But people always assume that the yin and yang is about light and darkness when it's not. Because light and darkness to me is always felt like they're two separate entities, just like a male and a female. And by combining light and darkness, what do we get? The birth of life.
Well, there's
Well,
that dualistic nature in there because um, whenever you add light, there is no dark.
there
So
is no
it's
dark
just
without light.
amounts of light, isn't it? It's the absence of light gets you down to darkness.
But the funny thing is the best way I pictured the universe and why I always felt like the feminist energy is always been about darkness is because zoom out into the universe. What does it look like? It's a looks like a ball, doesn't it? Like a womb that's keeping life inside.
Potentially.
Is that what the womb is?
Well, that takes you to the Mother Earth Lodge as well, doesn't it? Because that's
Hmm.
going into the womb.
Yes, exactly. Because the darkness, here's the funny thing, is that we don't realize what the first step is in our life. What our journey is through that darkness. But we have to learn to take the other steps to go from that darkness into the light, because that's what the steps are all about. And the darkness is our teacher, our mentor to learn what we need to learn to make the next step.
I just had a flash about the Mother Earth Lodge. When we're inside, it's dark, but yet you bring in the rocks, which are red. A lot of people don't realize that energy itself is fire. So when the rocks come in, they also represent the life force energy of where you were being conceived. So while you're in the womb, that's the light, how we say, the connection to the creator, the connection to where we as energy come from. But we're produced and we take the form of fetus, and then later on we're born. So the Mother Earth Lodge basically is a lot different than a sweat lodge because again, it's actually a womb of creation.
Just like the universe, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, and I have a whole philosophy to the science to how I think the universe began, but that's another discussion if I had, and that's a long discussion because it's my theories is the
Well,
difference.
exactly.
Mhm.
This is why I like these kind of conversations sometimes because I learn. And I just had that flash about the Mother Earth Lodge, and all of a sudden it makes a lot more sense. And now I can utilize the Mother Earth Lodge in a better energy way now.
Cool.
Now, the
Never too
funny
old to
thing is,
learn then.
Yeah,
again,
oh, never. You're always learning.
this all circles down to what I was talking about when it comes to the seven laws of the universe. We've lost that connection to the universe, and we need to reconnect back to it.
When we sit there, and I know I've been probably off the subject a little bit, but when we look at the Constitution and when it says the right to bear arms, well, the right to bear arms was introduced when we were fighting a Revolutionary War. Of course, we had the right to bear arms at
Yep.
that particular time,
Yep,
but
and not just
it's
that,
beyond usefulness now.
it's
We
not
don't,
just that, it's also what the Second Amendment is actually protecting is us from a corrupt government, an invasion,
yeah,
or a threat to your life.
yeah.
Basically, that's what the
Where are they
Second
now then? Where's your militia?
you know, and it's sad that it has to take violence for people to realize that we need the Second Amendment. That's how scary the world is that we need violence to keep the Second Amendment around.
Isn't that
And
just an
that's sad.
American thing though? Because the
But
rest of the world, well, not the rest of the world, there's plenty of violence everywhere else, but there are many countries that have guns that aren't killing each other. Australia's got
yeah.
guns, Canada, which is just your neighbor, you
Now,
know, very different up there. But in
but this
America, we need the Second Amendment. We must have our guns.
but this actually comes to my other what I'm going to say is that what do you think as human beings we do constantly? And this is something we never took into thought because this is literally the natural law of the universe for no matter what it is. And that is murder. Murder is something that we do daily because if we breathe things in, we're killing molecules, we're killing particles, we're killing bacteria, we're killing germs that we suck in.
Killing's not the same as murder, though.
But
Murder's like when you like deliberately do it.
But we have no choice, though. That's the funny thing. We have to deliberately do it. About killing an animal, we have to deliberately kill an animal to survive. We have to pull the roots of a plant out of the ground just to eat it.
Yeah, the
Oh
Second
yeah.
Amendment is the right to bear arms, except if you're Native American Indian, you don't have that right.
So now, when we
Don't you?
think about,
No, we don't have that right because,
yeah,
you know, why come to a table on equal terms when they have the gun and you have a knife?
yeah,
Is that still the same though now?
Well, we can bear arm now, but the whole idea was that,
Right.
remember, when they came out that law, Indians couldn't own guns.
now
Mm.
the, now the difference is that the natural law of murder is always going to be there because that's what animals do. That's what plants do. This is a normal thing because we don't see
I
things
think
from
murder's probably the wrong word, but kill definitely is the right word. But
well,
murder is
murder
a
is
bit different.
it's the concept of intent. It's the intent to kill. Okay, that's what it really is. But like I said,
Well, your
we
country's the
are.
expert.
But like I said, we are murdering particles that are under microscopic right now that we don't understand. But we have no choice though. That's the messed up part because this is the cycle of life and death. Things have to give their life up for us to survive.
Where are you
We're
going with
not
that, Matthew?
we're not saying that go and you should murder someone. No, it's horrible. That's why it's about and very important to be an intelligent being is that we need to know what is the right reason not to murder. It is a good thing because murder is bad. Okay, it's just that we have to learn our responsibility with it. That's the difference.
Okay, we're gonna have to wrap up now because we will be getting kicked out shortly. So, is there anything you
Okay,
want to
that's fine.
leave on a more positive note? Some
Sorry
words of
about that,
wisdom?
but
Well, it's funny because if you look at Ukraine, right, Russia's murdering Ukrainians, and Ukrainians are killing soldiers.
Well, that's
it can't
war.
be helped. That's what I'm saying. It can't be helped.
Fine line.
Exactly. Find the line. Be respectful. Find the truth. You know.
Okay, then. So, what's your final words of wisdom?
Watch the Raiders game tonight.
I was gonna say is that don't don't take things so negative because whatever happens in the past was the past. Just take what is in the past and use that knowledge to make a better world.
Nice wise words to end on. Anything from you, Wa-Na-Nee-Che?
Yeah, it's like in the Old Testament where Jesus told people, "Do not judge other people," but yet the first thing we do, we judge
Yep.
people, and we need to basically, if we're going to follow somebody and basically utilize them as our idol, we should practice his words. But we don't.
Mm-hmm.
Some do, some don't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's been fascinating.
Spiritu Santo, bang bang.
That's your country all over. But thank you, Matthew, for joining us in the hot
Yep.
seat. It was good to have a chat with just you for the first 20 minutes or so. So we know that if your dad's poorly again or just being lazy, we know you can jump in the hot seat.
I got a psychotic nerve in my back that's really been irritating the hell out of me.
That's not a very nice way to describe Matthew.
All right.
Thanks for listening to Straight Talk Sacred Pathway. If you'd like to ask Wa-Na-Nee-Che a question, you can email me at stuart@realityresponsibility.com. The link will be in the description. And don't forget, you can download a powerful guided meditation for free at humancircleoflife.com.